I've been wanting to share a few things for quite some time. I've had to tiptoe, as you know. And in this video, I'm really going to tiptoe. And as a disclaimer, if things will make you queasy and upset, this may not be the video for you. There's more than a mystery in the Nancy Guthrie case. There is evil. And I feel that I have found it. I feel that I know it. And I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything because people are innocent until proven guilty. Do I have all of the facts? No, I don't. But the cards and the numbers don't lie. And there's some information that's coming out about a few things that I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about a little bit. So again, as a disclaimer, this may not be the video for you. And if you can't watch it, it's okay. I love you anyway. Don't worry. We're safe. I want you to know, everybody, that we're safe. Nothing is going to happen. I'm safe. Nothing is going to happen. I'm sharing information, but I'm asking questions so that you can understand more. So we're going to clear things a little bit. I've got my crystal. We're clearing the energy and making sure that it is positive energy that comes through, energy that comes through from Nancy's home, energy that comes through from positive situations. Here we are with the big book of Bull. Yeah, we're back again. And guess what? We are on day 73. 70 days ago. So here we are. And get your popcorn, get a drink. So here we are in day 73. And this is Nancy Guthrie. I really don't know where to start, so I'm just going to start at the beginning. In 2019, there was an interview. This interview was with, I'm going to call it The Tomorrow Show. And it is on a very well-known network, all right? You know the call letters, and you know who that is. So in the Tomorrow Show, in an interview, this lady, who was a show host at that time, who is related to Nancy, was asking a lady, and we're going to call her Ginny, her experiences with a very dark, evil situation. And it had to do with everything with a particular island. And the island guy, we're just going to call him the guy. You know who he is. He worked in the traffic department, had properties all over the United States, all over internationally, and seemed as though he could not be stopped. And yet there was this interview that happened one fateful day where this one young lady, she named names. Names. She named names. One of the names was of a former prince who got his silver bracelets on his birthday. I was so happy. There were others. And as time went on, this young lady, Ginny, had an accident. Well, it almost sent her to paradise. So then there were statements of how she did not feel that she was in a mindset to end things herself. And then the next thing you know, she lost her life. Her family didn't think so at first, but now they're quiet. And this is the reason why. Because of this interview, that started, in my opinion, things with Nancy Guthrie. In a later interview just a few days ago, this lady who did the interview, who is the daughter, we're going to call her Ms. S., was told by her brother, most likely her mother was missing because of her. Now that's her brother, but what about her sister and her brother-in-law? We're going to take we're going to take a little side trip here. Now, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it's been a particular knowledge that the other daughter and the son-in-law have been involved with some dark arts. I heard the daughter, and I'm just going to say it. I heard Annie talking about a poem that she had written. It was dark. And I felt that it was about Nancy. It was dark. Tommaso was in a band, and there was a very dark name for the album that they put out. Now, you know what? That sort of thing, it is what it is, but it was dark. I'll let you look it up. Look up the album, because he says he's a musician. Now, in my opinion, I believe that associates of this person who were in Colorado, Grand Junction, to be precise, was searching for Nancy this past December of 2025, Google Trends. The only area that were searching for Nancy Guthrie in December on Google Trends, right before Christmas. Why? And then the searches were more intense. The searches were and started in early January, and January 11th was another one. And they always went on the weekends. And you know, there was also a full moon during that time where Nancy went missing. And, you know, the last person that saw her, it was January 31st. She technically, from what we're told, went missing February 1st. Now, there's a reason I'm telling you all this right now. And it's because many times people and associates that want to cause harm for revenge, because that interview did a lot, and it did a lot of damage, and it raised a lot of awareness, which I do not believe is Miss S' fault. But at the same time, it kind of backfired. Because that's what happens. And time is not of the essence with these people. Because you know what? If something would have happened right away, they would have went, it's this guy, right there. But no, a lot of other things happened. And I still believe this guy is breathing. Just so you know. Sometimes people are involved with things that you wouldn't think. It's very unfortunate that sometimes people in the highest places, with the highest regard, can pull the most strings. For whatever reason. Usually it's control. Usually But this type of thing, what is worse? Having, I'm going to say her name, Savannah, grieve her mother. And the sad part is grieving her mother is her punishment. Most people will say, well, why didn't they just take Savannah? Because that's not sending a message. That doesn't do anything. One day we're going to talk about Jim Carrey and what happened in his life is the same that happened in some other lives when they spoke out. Take a look at Jim. He looks the same, doesn't he? So now this fellow, this guy, wants revenge. What better way to seek out someone who has the same mindset that is close to Nancy? This is Nancy's circle. Oh, and my pen pooped. All right, so this is Nancy's circle. So as it is. But what better than to have this guy now look for people? Now, I want you to know what they did at this guy's properties. They're not just nice. They don't just give you a Diet Coke and sit you by the water and wait your turn. There are things that happens. Things that I can't even mention on here. Imagine the worst happening to someone. I don't know. This whole thing would just basically pull somebody apart. After 2008, this Epi guy right here, in 2008, let me write it down here, 18, in 2018, he ordered 300, I believe it is 380 or 360 gallons of sulfuric acid. What do you use that for? That can dissolve many things. Think about it. You can get rid of a lot of things with sulfur. It will melt things away that you just can't even recognize anymore. But what if someone from this particular group asked someone close within Nancy's circle to help out with, I don't know, a revenge plot? What if this guy, because they're all liars, so you cannot believe that the devil is going to ever tell the truth. Just remember, the devil was an angel. He fell. He's no longer. He knows how to bring people in. That's what happened here. You're dealing with some demonic information, my darlings. So when you ask, where's Nancy? Someone close to her knows. And I believe that this is so much bigger and so much darker than anybody can even ever imagine. And do I ever believe that Nancy will be found? Do I believe there will be a substitute person? Yeah, they may bring in a person so this whole thing goes away. Just like, Utah. Some little hints if you want to go back, if you're just joining in, if you want to go back, Colorado and Grand Junction. In one of the first ransom notes, they basically said, look, pay up and give us 12 hours to deliver her. If you do the math, it's approximately 10.5 to 11 hours from Tucson to Grand Junction, Colorado, with all points in between subject to could be anywhere. There have been names associated. I'm not going to say the names. They've been turned over to the Grand Junction, Colorado Sheriff's Department. He has a BOLO alert out for particular people. There is one person who is in Tucson who was doing some of the Google trend searches right before Nancy went missing. That person was associated. It's my understanding, don't have that particular fact, but my understanding from some information that I received, to Colorado. What's in Colorado? Well, this guy here owns a lot of property there, owns a lot of property in Texas, owns a lot of property in New Mexico. Close points surrounding. So what do I believe happened with Nancy? As I said yesterday, I believe that this was part 1, and now we're moving into part 2. Part 2 is what happened to Nancy from the time the order went out until the time she was picked up. Again, much darker, much more evil than what anybody could ever imagine. Why? Why would you think that? Well, first of all, because of the interview, that's number one. That's number one. 2 people that I know of in the family are believers, Nancy and Miss Savannah. Now, what about somebody associated closely to Miss Savannah, who I believe was considered to be a scrubber, get rid of information, and was going to do that with some people that, I don't know, they were supposed to testify in front of Congress. But this guy wanted an introduction with him to scrub a lot of things. You know what that does? That means that the husband knows probably a lot more than what he could imagine. This is why people are tiptoeing around. This is why I'm sure people like Brian Enton and other people that have family, they're not, and I'm just going to tell you right now, they are not going to come out. If you ask, why isn't media talking about this? Well, no, they're not. Because I saw an YouTube video, and it was all over media this past Saturday, and I was trying to save parts, trying to make clips, trying to do things, and in 23 seconds, it got 2.7 million views and was taken off of all platforms immediately. It showed this guy. It showed an actor. And it showed people talking about different people in the media. I also heard that there was one woman who called out sick that worked for a station. I don't know if that's true or not, so don't ask me. I don't know. I know all of you are going to start asking me questions in the comments. I'm not going to answer them, and I'm very sorry that I cannot. So you're going to have to just sit and pray about it. That's the only thing that we can do. But I want you to know that there is other talk coming out about this. I've known about this. I saw some things about this yesterday, and I'm also going to tell you this. Be cautious. Be cautious of what you hear. And if that means with me, yes, with me too. Check it out. Do some research. You can't Google it. Google it has scrubbed. You can't Google it. These are things you can't Google. It's not going to show you. It's just not going to come up. Remember, there are some things that are regulated that we are not shown. You're going to have to go deep down and dark. And I don't know if you can. I don't believe Nancy's coming back. I believe that there is someone close to her that is involved with some very bad demonic things. I believe that there has been payment, but I believe the payment has been held. I do not believe that some payments have been made, and I do believe that this is maybe why there's a particular person writing ransom notes. This thing has so many offshoots, twigs, branches that can come off of this. And yet, most of it we're never going to know. I believe that if Nancy did survive after the first 3 days, I don't believe that she did. But I believe that it was a very bad situation. It wasn't nice. And people are like, well, maybe they took her meds. Look, let's get real. When somebody sets out to take somebody like this, and it is bad, they have other agendas in mind. They're not going to scoop up. They're not going to prepare. They're not going to get medication ahead. They don't care if she lived or otherwise. They had a job to do. They had an order to fulfill, and they did it. Pay was arranged. But they left some people behind, and you know what? That's what evil does. Evil prepares, evil lies to you, and then evil, so whomever is left behind that was close to a certain circle of Nancy's, you're going to see that they may end up holding the bag, and they should. And if they don't, I'm sure there's other reasons. This whole thing has me so suspicious, and I've seen these types of things before. Oh, don't think that I haven't. I've been around this proverbial block. And I know when something doesn't feel right. She knows. But I think there's people around Nancy and even around Savannah have and are into some pretty dark things. And I said yesterday, I'm going to say it today. Watch. Watch for differences in how people walk. Watch for differences in how people present themselves. Do they want to hide? Do they want to come out differently? They know. They know. Are they looking different? Because I'm going to tell you something. Probably most of you who are watching this have never been around. You've been around some bad actors. Okay, we've all been there. Some people that are really nasty and stinkers. But for the most of you, you've not been around evil. Because you see, evil hides, my darlings. Evil presents itself as that beautiful cup of peace and solutions to everything, and will let you hold the bag. Because that's the agenda of demons. And sit back and laugh while somebody else does their dirty work. And they won't sing on that guy. How can they? They think, well, they know that he's around. That's how evil works. There's no excuse for that, except evil is evil. And you can't pray for evil because evil has already made the choice. You can only pray for family, ourselves. Being involved a lot of times, and believe me, my darlings, listen, people have asked me to become demonologist, and I'm going to tell you, from what I've seen, pictures, drawings, documents, read demonic documents, and and I'm going to tell you, I just got a hold of some other documents that I'm floored about. You wouldn't want to. It's not a glorious, lovely world, because people that are in that have nothing but problems all the time, because it becomes a fight between good and evil, and that's what this has. Poor Nancy didn't stand a chance. She couldn't fight back, and even if she were Hercules, it wouldn't have mattered. She was caught for many reasons. Someone set her up. We did the numerology on it. Numbers don't lie. We've done the numerology. We've done all kinds of things. Her house is so upset because of the energy. This is not only a setup, it is a cover-up. In my opinion, I don't have any facts. Look, this is entertainment purposes only, right? Y'all love it when I get dramatic like this, and that's all a part of it, right? Right. So today, this has really turned into the demonic big book of bull. People know. I'm going to put they know. Now, you want to go a little one further. You saw a little upset in Washington, D.C., I don't know, within the last couple of weeks, that there was someone who was fired in the DOJ, the AG's office, for not prosecuting, for not bringing out things. Listen, fear can cause many things, because a prosecution, my darlings, means nothing. In that spiritual demonic fight, it means nothing. It's laughed at. It can always be resolved. You're going to see some more shakeups coming about this guy in DC and in different areas. But anybody who's had any type of anything with him, they know. They know. Ask Jim Carrey. They know. We'll talk about it. I'm finding out. I've got to make sure I can do it on Patreon. I'm not going to start and talk about it and then start having problems with this type of things, because I'm not going to lose my stuff. I want you to stop and think. This isn't a gardener. It isn't a factory worker. It isn't a roofer. It isn't a neighbor. It's been something, someone, somewhere, somehow, who has been scoping her out for much longer than what we think. There was a plan in place. There was an agenda to follow, and there were people that were employed. People that knew that pulling apart the situation is all a part of it. I do not believe that Nancy, her situation is in one piece. That's what happens. That's what happens. The people that have done this, that are close to Nancy, you will see, because if they have any type of moral compass at all, it will start getting it. Her energy will haunt. And I'm just going to tell you this. I have seen this in people in prisons. The one particular case comes to mind. I've talked about it before in the past. I knew someone. I didn't know them, but I knew of someone that I had talked to who committed a very heinous crime, that someone lost their life. 30 years. Nothing went right for him. Everything fell apart for him. Everything that he touched, he could not live day and night. And then he was starting to get haunted. Haunted by the memories, haunted by the energy of the situation of what happened. And finally, after 30 years, he turned himself in and said, look, I've got to wipe the slate clean. I'm guilty. I can't stand this anymore. And this dude was tough. He was tough. He was crying because he couldn't stand it anymore. He's now serving life in prison, and rightfully so. Doesn't have much life left after 30 years. But he said it was the best thing that he felt free. And forgiveness, well, that's not up to us. I've seen other people be haunted too, and if you don't think that it can happen, take a look at Chris Watts, who sees his children in his cell. So I'm sure by now, because it doesn't take long, and I don't know if you know this or not, but there are certain energy entities, and there are certain beautiful energy that will come and also come at those people that are involved and make life miserable. Make life miserable. I want you to know that no one has been cleared. I don't care what they've said. I don't care what Nano said. It takes a lawyer, the prosecutor, to clear people. Just because Nano said something, he could say the sky is blue. And I won't believe it. Don't believe it. He has his own trouble. There are people that know. What we can pray for is that the people that are involved become more haunted than ever, and that the people that are involved, that have employed the people in Nancy's inner circle, will start turning on each other. I've seen that too. I've seen it too. If the money isn't big enough, if the money isn't there. Because what happens is, after the deed is done, the people on this side of the aisle will just dump the rest of everybody. You never know how to get a hold of them. The phone numbers on burner phones are no longer available. There's no more nothing, and they're extremely careful. They don't email, they don't do anything. It's a one and done it. And you don't ask questions. The people that take these, they don't ask questions. They don't know. They don't care. They're getting a particular amount of money, and they don't care because they've never been brought up with a moral compass. So watch. Let's get the cards out, my darlings. Now we have a variety of cards here. And some of you have said, Zelda, how do you pick the cards? When you're reading like this, how do you pick the cards? Well, you have to look at the situation. If I were reading for you and you were asking about your family and your children and things were happy, I might use little cards like this. Look, this is the moon card with this sweet little squirrel on it. Look, that's the King of Cups. The Eight of Cups. Not dark at all. Look at the Magician, this beautiful fellow here. I'm certainly not going to use any type of happy persona cards in a very dark crime-oriented reading. because usually they all have their own. And by the way, if you want to know what cards those are, my darlings, The Oak, Ash, and Thorn by Stephanie Burrows and Adam. I don't know what his last name is. Sorry, Adam. But they are beautiful, and they are just adorable. And you can tell they're well loved because I've had to tape the box together. All right. That's why I choose the cards, because not because I want a particular meaning, but because the particular outcome has to match what the reading is going to be. It can't be, poppies and roses and little butterflies talking about a crime this heinous. So that's why. And thanks for asking that, because I like it when you ask questions like that. Today we're using the Crime and Shadow cards from my collection, the Kipper deck. Now, I have a new deck of cards. I have to put them together. They are the Tarot Secret cards. They are in the Psychic Shop. They are fantastic. And we've got some coloring and puzzle books in there now, too, if you want to stop by the Psychic Shop. And that link will be in the description. I have the Hidden deck by Bicycle and our friend the Piotnik deck. Some of you asked me this Piotnik deck. It is not a tarot. It is a Lenormand. It's an oracle deck. All right, let's move the Hand of Fate. And we're going to be asking just a few questions. Just a few questions. I think I kind of blew your mind enough. I'm sorry. I don't want to be too disturbing, but you never know. Maybe on Patreon we can really cut loose. All right. Because like I've always said, there's another side of this world. And when you deal in things that I'm dealing in, like especially the crime, where the mind goes very, very dark, it opens up the door to many things. And you start believing that there's more to life and more to this world than meets the eye. It can be very strange, very intriguing, but very frightening. And sometimes very evil. Don't worry, I'm fine. You're fine. We're fine. Nothing like that is here. All right, here we are. That fell out, hit my thumb, but take a look at this. You see, something has spilled, and there's a mirror, and there's a light, and there's a door. Oh, I wish those mirrors in Nancy's house could talk. I wish I could look into that mirror and scry. Scry, yes. Do a reading. Might give us even the picture of the fellow's face. That won't happen. It's unfortunate. But something spilled out. That house holds evidence. All right, so now we're asking, I'm just going to ask the energy, tell us now what we should know or need to know, what is happening with Nancy Guthrie case. Something that I have been thinking, and like I said, when they put in a person a confession, I believe some type of confession is coming. False confessions are real, my darlings. And there are sometimes that people actually convince themselves that they commit crimes that they've never even been around. It's very unfortunate when those things happen, because it's a part of our lives that we don't have any cures for, and we don't have a lot of understanding. But there is a confession coming. Look at the full moon. Nancy is in spirit. She's looking at the particular situation as though in disbelief. Now, is she here? No. She's moved on. She's where she's supposed to be. She's not looking back. Her energy lingers. Her energy lingers. Full moon. God reigns supreme. You know, sometimes it feels so evil. It's like, where's God? But he's watching, and believe me, he always makes sure that things come out the way they are supposed to. Now, this is a particular card that is another full moon telling us that there was definitely a ticket to paradise. And that someone was happy about a celebration. I wanted to say use as a trophy. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. Actually, like this. You know, do you notice that we have a full moon in each one of these cards? And I did not put a full moon in every one of the cards. So the next full moon, I'll have to look and see now when that is. I will definitely be looking into things because basically this is a card that says now we're kind of getting on the real with the real track of it. We're kind of getting where we're supposed to be. We're kind of getting where things, the truth. Another full moon. You see, there's law enforcement there. There's a balance. Do I think that could maybe somebody be holding some things back? I don't know. Could there be? Could there be a false confession that is written down? Could there be? I don't know. Now the Kipper. This one is a long one, my darlings. If you've stayed with me this far, do me a favor and put a yellow heart for Nancy in the comments. If you don't have a yellow heart, just put heart. Or you can just put yellow or yellow heart, whatever you like. The family room is very important in the house. Sudden wealth. Yep. You see, wait, where is Moisha? Hello, my darling. Where are you? Here we are. Moisha has, well, this turns out to be a number 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. And you see we have 3 objects here. Oh boy. Threes are all about this card. I never really noticed this. We have 3 urns here, or 3 objects. We have, well, and then there's another 4, but we have 3 on the tea table. Family room, this is all about there's something left over in the family room from that house. Sudden wealth. The number 11 is a master builder number in numerology. It basically says going just from nothing. Going from, oh, and there's Sammy walking through. Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Oh, she just wants to jump all over. That's fine. Thank you. Sorry about that, but that was a little blessing. Sammy making an appearance. Sudden wealth. This is from like the beginning of the plan. The foundation is made. The sudden wealth. The people that were asked to help with this went for, let me put these cards. So if she's going to do this again, this chicken. All right. People went from really having not enough to a jackpot. tell us more if you will. I know you can, but if you will, tell us more about the people that are involved. A mature man with a beard. Number 5, probation. Can be grace. Nancy. So it's someone close to Nancy. We're going to put these to the side. We'll see what's up on the unseen now. Here is the Piatnik. Tell us more. Tell us more. Listen, my darlings, I'm just going to tell you, from this moment on, we're probably heading down the dark side. Because that's where this is going anyhow. It really is, and I apologize. It's all about finding out. Nancy, a widow, definitely. Visited her family that fateful Saturday night of January 31st, and journey. See, I have a question. Did she really even make it back to her home? Was someone there? Was there just another part of the journey did they take? Did they take a little? I don't know. You know, I have a question for you, and it's something that has crossed my mind, and now that we're going down this little bunny trail, do you really feel that the crime scene was really a crime scene, or do you think that it was a crime scene that was set up to look like a crime scene? Now, this is the hidden deck. This is the deck. This is Bicycle. If you like this deck, you can get one. I got this at the pharmacy store. But I wrote an ebook on the hidden deck. Some attributes. There's hidden symbols and so on and so forth. That's why I'm using it here, because you know, sometimes when you go down that rabbit hole, you've got to look to see. Okay. 3 people, but a third-party interference and a third-party influence that was involved. This money was supposed to be a progress, was supposed to be things like this, but I'm just going to tell you what this card is. The 6 of Hearts is the card of sacrifice. The unseen, oh my goodness, we started out looking at that card. You saw me shuffle, and here we are again. So this is telling me that something spilled in Nancy's house with a mirror. A mirror that is over a table. And look, I don't know if you can see, you probably cannot, but there is an image back here. It is in spirit in the doorway. And you see here. But if there is a place in the family room or close to it with a mirror over a table and a lamp, evidence. Evidence. What's on the bottom here? Change needs to be made. I said that yesterday. I do not believe that we are in a time now, but we have all this digital, beautiful things. All of the, even analog, you can still use analog for a lot of things, but digital. But change has to be made, because we cannot continue to be in our old ways and use new ways and new equipment and expect to be efficient. Change has to be made. In this, you see, oh, there's an old depiction of a car, and there's, there it looks like they're moving out of a house. Now, who's making the changes, really? Is it a family member? Are they moving? Are they moving things out of houses? That number 9 basically in numerology means that, well, you come to the end of single digits, and everything beyond that is double digits, and you've got to reduce it down to a single digit. That means, as an example, 2025 added up to the number 9. It was the end. It was the end. The end of what? Well, the end of a 9-year cycle. And now 2026 is a number 10 and reduces to a number 1. And that means it's almost as though we're starting over. We see something in a new light. We work and we change. That's what it's all about. Now up for the Piotnik. Money, that goes without saying. And look, a mirror. Hey, I'm going to tell you, we get clues all the time in this. And if Agent Oobligada, hello, Agent Oobligada, was here, I would say, where's the mirror? Take me to the mirror. That's exactly what I would say. Take me to the mirror. Do you know why? I'm going to say it goes back to medieval times when I was just a kid. If there was a mirror or a looking glass, they didn't really have mirrors back then. They were really made of some type of silver. Anytime anyone lost their life, they covered the mirrors. You went into battle, they covered mirrors. Why? Because a mirror can be a portal and it can hold information. It can hold energy. I can't look into a mirror here and pick up what's going on in Arizona. I wish I could. It doesn't work that way. There's no way I will ever get one of those mirrors from the crime scene, so I'm not even going to ask. And I'm not going to ask anybody to... No, it doesn't work that way. But there's a room with a mirror that has evidence. Last but not least, oh my. That is the name of the hidden, that's the hidden deck, my darling. But I'm going to tell you, this ace of spades is, I'm going to just say it, that's the worst card in the Cartomancy deck. It is all about loss and especially about death. It is not only loss and death, and it's about legal issues, legal woes, problems, situations, circumstances, issues. And I'm going to tell you, this is, you see this eye? There we go. Okay. You see this eye? This eye is capsulated into this. There's a story about the Ace of Spades. I'll tell you one day, but not now. But this Ace of Spades, the all-seeing eye, constancy, consistency, all-seeing, never-ending. You can run, but you can't hide. Sorry if this got a little dark. We'll keep things going. Be here with me tomorrow, and also on Fate and Fortune tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the Bahamas boat fiasco, where the woman is still missing and the husband has been released. We're going to be talking about that on Fate and Fortune True Oracle tomorrow. Thanks for being here, my darlings. Don't worry. God's in control.